I decided to hurl myself into my room. It's barricaded. I can tell that my two cats, especially one, is trying to wake up the other person, Jeff Lawhead, in this house. I started noticing that particular cat, Jen, would alert Jeff whenever I do something different. So at the moment, he's actually meowing at his door. But because Jeff is lacking sleep, he's not going to open it. I turned on the dishwasher so they can't hear me. About my family. My mother's side, former now, disowned. Lonnie Lopez. She's an EKG monitor tech at Polynomy. And I think there was another one in Waipahu or Eva. For years I had weird dreams, but because I didn't see them correctly, because I still thought of them as family. Years ago, while I was still in Tennessee, which I am now, I had to come back to Tennessee. I had a dream that Luke, my former brother, golden child, was stressing over insurance policies, and I mistook that for him trying to update his military thing, because at that time he was National Guard. So I had this dream that he was stressing about it, and there was family around him. So in my dream, I wanted to go comfort him, say, hey, just do the right thing. But then there was this auntie. She is a piece of work. Sherry Lopez, married to Willie Tony Lopez. She never take anything from her. Well, she was trying to block me from going into the room, and I just shoved her aside. And when I went into the room, the dream stopped. I thought I was like, that's weird. So, again, this was years ago, still talking to my former family. I called Lonnie up, former mother, and I told her, hey, you sure Lucky's okay? I had a dream that he was stressing about something. And I guess she just acted like she didn't know anything, because it never came up again. And I thought that, that was just a weird dream. As long as, she just talks to Lukey, it's fine. So he's just aware. And then months go by and I had another dream. I dreamt that there was a dead girl in the canal. Not a little girl. This was a teen. At least my height. And she was spread out in this canal. There's a canal nearby the house of Manu Oi Oi Place. The canal was suspiciously a little dry, and that girl's body was just splayed out, dead. And it was Lukey who started yelling for help, and suddenly the rest of Lonnie's family came, like witnessing, like, oh my god, what happened? And I'm having this dream, and I wake up, I'm like, my brother's in trouble again. So, again, was still talking to Lonnie, I messaged her again, hey, I had this weird dream. I told her everything. And again, she just like, oh, that's just a weird dream. And I'm like, okay. The thing is, growing up, ever since I did something, I guess selfish in their eyes. When I was 8, before those pain symptoms started, I was up on the balcony. The balcony didn't have a roof then. I looked up, just looking at the stars. And then Vicenta, Lottie's mom, came sitting next to me, and I said, well, I guess I'm just looking at the stars. And just right on time, 2 shooting stars shot across the sky. And then I mentioned, hey, I'm going to make a wish. And since there's 2, you should make a wish too. So I made my wish and then say it out loud, because I thought that was supposed to be a thing. Don't say your wish out loud. But Vicenta turned to me and said, well, what do you wish for? I said, because my life was already in, it was already bad. So my 8-year-old self wished for happiness. I wanted my family to be happy too. And then I thought she was quiet. Maybe she, see, at that time, she was one of my favorite grandmothers. So this one came out of nowhere. She turns to me and says, announcing her wish, she says that when Lonnie was pregnant, we wanted her to abort you because we wanted her to have a better life. And I'm sitting here like, okay. That's a harsh reality. Because I trusted her, I tried to understand her. I was like, yeah, mommy would have had maybe an easier life. Because at that time, Lonnie and my dad, Luke, they were going through a divorce. And it got violent. And I always wondered why it got violent. Because Dad was the one who was being violent. Even though I never seen him being violent towards any other person. It was just her, Lonnie. Yeah. He didn't have a history of violence, especially around me. The only time he did violence around me was when Uncle Kenneth, his younger brother, was at that time he was on drugs, so he tried to steal money. Tried to steal a jar of money that my dad and mom was supposedly saving up for me. And it was a huge mail jar, like a big one, of old coins. And it was all for me. Because mommy and daddy at that time were teenagers. By the time I was born, mom turned 18 and dad was 20. And they were just young and stupid, really. Just like any normal, poor families. So around that time, they started picking on my brother Lukey, my former brother Lukey. They would pick on him for having Hawaiian blood. They would purposely nitpick everything he did because of his name, and they thought it was fine. So I started stepping up to them. I was like, no, Lukey was only doing this because of this. I was here. And so they started drawing attention to me. They couldn't keep up the facade of the first granddaughter, who was usually really helpful and kind, stick up to them because of her brother. So they really started on me. Before it was just neglect and stealing things. Now it's like purposely doing things. And I wonder if that's the reason why they really wanted to do what they were going to do. Yeah, 8 years old, I started getting sick. Once I got so sick because there was a cold feeling in my stomach. Could not get it out, could not warm up. I had to drop to my knees and curl into a ball. I took every blanket comforter off the bed, which was 4 of them, and I stayed there for hours. The entire afternoon, no one came. There was nobody home. And even after I woke up hours later, there was no one home. So I thought that I had to go outside because if something happens to me, at least the neighbor next door, even though they're assholes, they have morals. So if they saw me on the ground, they would say something. So I purposely went towards Jean's house next door. And there I stood in the sun and I felt the sun melt away the coldness. Slowly at first. It was just weird. I'm in Hawaii. It's hot and it's the leeward side. I have four covers on me, standing outside in the sun, defrosting. I didn't tell anybody. It's not that I didn't want to, it's just that I felt like, no, don't say anything. They already think that you're a burden. A good child does not complain. Sherry Lopez. If you're astute, you can smell that she has stuff on her. Her daughter Chanel, which is part of the cousins that are part of this. My dad used to treat her like his own daughter because when she grew up, Willie, Lonnie's brother, had a fight with Sherry and he didn't want Chanel. But because his reputation and his life had just gone downhill, he had to, I guess, reconcile with Sherry and continue raising Chanel. But that marriage, unless they have someone else to aim their anger on, that marriage should have killed them. But here they are. And now I know why. Because they were killing people for profit, for wealth, whatever you want. I noticed that the food that they cook was subpar. Like, they would defrost frozen meat and fish on dirty dishes. And it was not like a one-time thing or where they did it all the time. That's when I started being really in the habit of just cleaning dishes. Clean dishes, ignoring everything. Cleaning the entire kitchen, everything. Because I knew I wouldn't survive if I didn't clean. So the more I cleaned, I guess it was just Spirit's way of saying, hey, you should clean this yourself. So there's no mysterious residue of things. Mommy would do a little cruel commentary every so often. Once, we were driving down, within the last 6 years, we were driving towards Waianae from Miley, and she pointed at some dude. He was obviously Caucasian, part Caucasian. And she said that that could have been your dad, a druggie. And I'm like, that was so fucking random. I noticed that anytime she talked about my dad when she was driving, something would stop her. Like a car would pull out and she would have to like slam on the brakes, kind of thing. Or like something loud would happen to stop her from talking about my dad. In fact, after the funeral, I think I mentioned this before. After the funeral, and I left Hawaii, she and her friend Lonnie, so Lonnie and Lonnie, I guess they were talking about my dad. And I left the clarinet that he played in her van because I couldn't take it on the plane with me. I had too much. And as she said immediately over the phone, panicking after that happened, a huge swarm of flies just splattered all over her windshield, enough to freak the shit out of both Lonnies. So there was a witness, Lonnie and Lonnie. And I thought that was odd. So I prayed to Dad, please stop attacking my mom. If I knew what I know now, back then, I would have stopped to see that my dad's death was suspicious. As well as my uncle Samuel. There was another Tony's former grandfather's sister, Auntie Perla. Honolulu, Grandpa Honolulu. Even before my dad met Lonnie, Grandpa's siblings, 13 of them were born, half of them lived to adults. I even wondered at the miscarriage that Jeff uh, fought me on a pregnancy, that he wanted a child. He wanted a child. He said, I want a child. I want a child. Well, I'm pregnant. Now he's like, no, kill it, abort it. Just saying weird shit that doesn't match a man that actually wants a child. I wonder if Xavier, my child, was sacrificed. Makes me sick. I know I don't sound it right now, but you can tell. There's only tears of the past. I can't bring him back. Because he doesn't want to come back. I'm happy about it. I don't know what I would do if Xavier lived and then died at their hands. I remember Chanel. She tried to hide that I guess she had an abortion. But that's also sus. Because when she got pregnant with her official firstborn child, I saw there was a little shadow following her from time to time. And when her second officially born child, I said, oh, that's that child. It's that child that I hope she gets out of there. Because she's one of us. But if I touch her now, they're going to use her as bait. If I say I'm concerned about that child now, they will sacrifice her. They will sacrifice her. About some of the readers were saying that, yeah, there are always already signs of their magic backfiring. I'm like, a newborn with sickness. The two newborns that, not newborn now, but at that time, was Chanel's youngest daughter, the third one. The third one is afraid of the world. It only wants to stay in the arms of people that protect her. It cries. She cries. She stares and looks around frantically sometimes. And then Lukey's oldest child, Casey, she came out with allergies that were in, like, I forgot what is the strand called, but like she couldn't have soybeans or something. Like that whole genre, there's like a whole thing, like she can't have soybeans, or she's allergic to bed bugs. Even though I'm like, where are there bed bugs? Lukey and his family isn't part of the military. They're not poor. They're taken care of. The government pays for their housings and everything. So it was just so weird that she had a rare allergy to bed bugs. And Lonnie, I guess, trying to guilt trip me, said that, yeah, they had to call in like some doctor from like California. I'm like, wow, that's different. Again, I was thinking that they were still my family, so I'm in the dark. It's like, okay, I'll pray for this. I hope she's fine. But when I was there, when I saw my niece, Courtney, the firstborn of Lukey's, um, she seemed fine. Maybe she seemed fine because I was there. Like, the second daughter, Corrine, you can tell from a very early age that this one has a silent, calculating temper. You make her mad, she'll get even in a bad way. Like, I seen her stare down other kids, and it made me kind of like lean back, like, ooh, ooh, ah, yeah, this child. At that time, I just figured that, yeah, that's a particular personality, you know? Like, she was doing that death stare at another kid who was just enjoying their rideable car toy thing. And instead of like um, scolding her, Lukey and his wife Anna had to look at each other like, this is a problem. They just stared at each other like, this is a problem. I'm like, this is a weird way to react to some little kid, wanting someone else's toy. And they just automatically just said that, yeah, we're just going to give her one like that, but better. And I'm like, wait, what? After she stared that kid down, and this kid isn't even looking at her, like, because that's their toy. She went after them. Like, she tried to, like, pull the car, like, wrench it back from this kid, but the kid was still in the fucking car. And that's when they had to go and stop her. I'm like, that's something. That's something. Her mannerisms are also different. You can tell she's meticulous. Like, when playing with her, babysitting, those kids. Courtney and Corrine. Courtney is a lot more outspoken. She's even like straight up rude, like, oh, grandma smells like doo doo. I'm like, wow. And Lonnie, who she's talking about, just kind of just stares off. And I'm like, um, sweetie, come on. That's, I'm telling her, oh, sweetie, don't be like that, you know? And, Corrine, the one with the death stare, she likes all her toys in a very particular fashion. Neat, meticulous. And she's younger. Like, she's like in kindergarten doing this very meticulous kind of way and having that kind of death stare and temper. I'm like, okay. Again, at that time, I'm like, that's just her personality. I loved my brother and I loved his kids. And then his last kid, Luke 3, He's just wildfire, wild child. The last thing I remember of them talking about Luke 3 was I was a little disturbed because he's only 2 at that time. Sitting at, what was it, Cattleman's Company in Hawaii. There was like a silent agreement that was whispered out. I think it was Lukey who said it. It's like, I can't wait till he gets to a certain age so we can actually start spanking him. And I'm like, huh? What? 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 And looking at this child, and I think to myself, yeah, he's a bit much, but yeah. So I kind of tried to kind of take attention off this child during this dinner because he was being a little bit, a 2-year-old in a booth in the middle of Cattleman's Company, which is a restaurant for like steaks and shit, more fancier stuff. And I'm like, of course he's not going to be comfortable. So I started, just like getting the mood better, distracting all the child's really, children's. And, by the end of the night, the little boy was just acting fine. Like no tantrum, no crying. I mean, he's eating like a normal child, but he wasn't like throwing anything or spitting anything, none of that. He just was more, wanting to watch a video on a phone. I'm like, I know bad children when I see one. Like ones that are out of control. Like they have extra energy this way or that way. But the behavior of these children, they are enabled to do so. Yeah. They are enabled to do so. Sherry had hidden cameras all over the Mano Oi Place house. It was pretty obvious that she was hiding them in the automatic lights and behind like a mirror or something. Like anytime I would be someplace where I guess I shouldn't be, one of her immediate family members would kind of stray around there or something. So I started doing a little test. I just started leaving a little like crumpled up notes in places outside, like the plant pots, like gluing like things together, pretending it's like a curse or something. No, if there was a name on it, I just you'd calm down. That's it. I don't do that, especially at that time. I'm like, I don't want to feed this kind of beastly. Ugh. And I noticed, yeah, they were trying to find all of them, every one of them. No matter how small, I think they were just trying to find them. So I hid some of them in blind spots. I know it's blind spots. And I'm like, yeah, they can't see this one. No, there's blind spot there. It was so weird. One day I was doing burning sage outside. and just going on doing prayers, burning sage outside. And they had a problem with that. Like, oh, our our daughter, granddaughter, or whatever, Chanel's second child is can't inhale smoke. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm outside. That's why when I saw her outside, I told her, just go inside. And she just obeyed, just go inside. I didn't follow her in. I didn't scold her. I was like, just go inside. I know you know, the smoke. Oh, yeah. They complained. And I'm like, you're doing it inside too? I'm like, no. I tried to sage inside once. And they're like, oh my God, my allergies. I can't stand smoke, even though they all smoke cigarettes. The ones that are complaining smoke cigarettes, but they can't handle sage smoke. They even tried to like frame me for like making people sick of the smoke, but I'm like, they tried to get Tony, Lonnie's dad, to denounce me from smoking, but because they didn't set it up quickly, I simply walked towards Tony, bent over, and picked up the cigarette that was lit next to him because they threw it on the ground behind him in order to have him say the smoke bothers him. They was hiding his already lit cigarette. So I just picked it up off the ground. It's like, oh, here you go. I didn't know. You smoking? And then Sherry and Willie just looked at me. It's like, you know, they couldn't say shit. And I walked away. I'm like, okay then. So they were accusing me of smoke inside the house. I'm like, no. You said no smoke inside the house. So I infused holy water with sage. And I missed it in the air. And I've done that, especially when they weren't looking. So it's been a whole fucking year that I was, you know, misting. I put alcohol in it. So it would be like I was cleaning because it smelled like alcohol and sage. So I'm cleaning with this thing. I'm wiping floors down. I'm wiping walls, stairways too, because the stairways for some reason they had like a chemical on it, and I noticed that they were using a concentrated chemical. What was it, simple green, or whatever? But when it's concentrated, it can turn real slippery. And this is a stairs that, you know, is the long stairs, and it bends too. So if you fall, you're either gonna go off the second floor or directly into the heaviest wooden doors in front of the house. Either way, you're not going to walk away from something like that. And I thought that was weird. It's like, why is it slippery? So I took it upon myself to mop and clean everything. Because, again, I figured I went back to the old habit when I was a kid. It's like, if I don't clean, I will die. Sometimes they would just be so blunt about their hatred for me. I mean, I'm sleeping. Suddenly, there's someone that comes in and knocks on the door. You, clean up the shit. And it's like 6 a.m. in the morning. And the reason why I had to do that is because for some odd reason, Lonnie, Vicenta, Tony wanted dogs in the house, but they never really fucking clean it. They depended on Shirley the adopted daughter that has special needs, to clean everything. But she's older now, so she can't clean, every day. So she cleans once a day, and it's not always the floor. So again, I took it upon myself. Yeah, well, this entire house smells like a fucking kennel. The entire fucking house. I shit you not. There is always pee on the floor and shit on the floor. It, I'm not kidding. I'd have to mop at least twice a day. Clean everything. Twice a day. For these adults. All of them are adults. And again, I knew that if I did not clean, I would die. So, even though my room tends to look messy, I do that on purpose. Because if it's messy, they're going to have a hard time finding things. They're going to have a hard time planting things. Because they don't know exactly what I do and how I do it. I noticed that they were stealing trash from my particular trash bags from my room. Anything, really. It's like, why do you need to recycle this? If I threw out like a sock, just for example, they would take the sock. I would look, a day later, I would look in the bag where all the trash is, and I noticed that there's open bags of trash. I noticed that usually one is mine's. So I did something gross. I started peeing in my trash can. Like, not a lot, just enough. But I always would change it every day, so it's not like it lingers. I would cover it as well. And when I threw it away, they're like, it was more obvious that they were looking through my trash because now um, there was a bag open. I can tell it's my stuff, but they kind of like spread it out onto like the garden ground in the corner. And you could tell that they were trying to wash it off. Oh, I hear goose. Geese usually don't come on my street. I only saw them once or twice, like many years ago. That's nice. I noticed that they wanted Tony to die because he was deaf, blind, and had a terrible personality. I knew they were targeting him, or at least wanting him to die because Vicenta and Lonnie got into an argument about the medications, and Lonnie didn't want to do the medications no more. And at that time, when they were arguing, Lonnie was in her room cleaning the floor with like Clorox or bleach or something. And Vicenta kept trying to force the medicine near the bleach. I'm like, what the hell? So they were fighting about it. I went down the stairs to kind of chill out, and then Sherry was there. And I thought that, this is far too important for me to like not say something. I told Sherry, hey, this is what they're doing with his medicine. And it's kind of precarious that they wanted, Vicenta wanted like the bleach or whatever's near the fucking medicine. And then she smiled for a moment. And then she said, oh, well, they're just fighting. I'm like, I know no one likes him. But, what's going on. And that's why soon after that, I started planning to come back to Tennessee. So I went to Hawaii to escape Jeffrey. And then I left Hawaii again to escape them to come back here. Yeah. And I started noticing that I started getting sicker more often here when I came back. I started noticing that unless I get my own food right there when we go shopping, I get sick. I started noticing that when I go to the doctor, because we go to his doctor, Steve Johnson at Rocky Top. At first, he was nice, a little bit too complimentary. And after my emergency and hospital visit, he became much more how would you call it? Like, he would insist to always take blood tests of me. Like, he always needed my blood. And I think I mentioned before that one of the nurses who knew, because he switches over nurses every year, don't know why, never questioned it. With this new nurse, she was tall, had like white hair, she was engaged. I remember her, and innocently she says, before the doctor came in, it's like she's taking the vitals and everything. Hey, did you know that you have anemia? I'm like, huh, no, I didn't know that. But I mentioned that my mom had anemia. She usually has anemia because her periods were bad. So much so that I think she bleeds out. She would bleed out real bad. Um, that started happening to her in her later years too. It wasn't always like that. It wasn't always like that. And so she had slept. I had anemia, and Steve, as soon as I asked, he's like, "No, you don't have anemia." He even said it again the next appointment after. He's like, "No, you don't have anemia." I think um, that nurse was replaced because after a couple more visits, there's a new nurse that came in, and the person who draws my blood, they call her the vampire, the blood lady, right? She really started feeling guilty for taking my blood. I told her, no, if it's from you, it's fine. I will do it willingly from her. Because I know she's not doing it on trying to hurt me. I'm not going to punish her because if she doesn't take my blood, yeah, they would punish her. So I just told her, go ahead, just take it. It's fine. So sometimes I use storms like the snowstorm, or, I can't walk, or whatever. It's just like, oh, I need to postpone the doctor's appointments. Now it's easy because I don't have insurance no more. Because, prices now. And Steve, like, really wanted me to come in, like, if you ever need blood tests for, like, the kidney and stuff, or you need this and that, you can come here because it's cheaper here. I'm like, now he's really interested in my blood. The last time I went there in January, he's really interested in my blood. Before, he was telling me the appointment before, he was telling me, oh, there's something wrong with your blood. like your Hawaiian bloodline, only Hawaiians can like figure this shit out, and maybe you should go there. So the previous appointment was, I think he was trying to get rid of me. And then on January, he was like, oh, come back. Whatever blood test you want to take, we can do it for cheaper. And I told him, oh, I don't have insurance no more. He looked like shit, It's like, oh, well, they're going to try and give people money so you'll have insurance. You'll have the money instead of insurance. And I'm like, what? So the next doctor's appointment is in April, I think 1st or the 2nd, which is hilarious if it is the 1st. But oh yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do something about that too. I've also been hiding which medicines I take now, because they wanted me to take a lot of fucking medicines, like a whole fucking list. And I can tell Steve was getting perplexed on why I'm not. I guess he didn't say it this way, but it's like he's perplexed on why I keep saying that, yeah, no, I can't take the full dose of these medicines. Because before, I'm like, yeah, these medicines are not making me feel any better at full dose. So I started just taking bits of it, like, at halves and then quarters, And again, when I was at the hospital, they were accusing me of, like, being a raging alcoholic because my kidneys were so bad. Stage 3A or B, depending on, I guess, the test. But now it's stable. My kidneys are stable. And supposedly that's supposed to be good news, but only the one kidney doctor, Kitu, was worried about me, and she couldn't just say why. Like, no, your kidneys functions is fine. Everything's fine. Funny enough, the next time I'm appointed to go to her office, I'm not allowed to see her. They say she's too booked. And I can only get the nurse. I'm like, because it's usually, every 6 months, right? Every 6 months, I go to see her. How can she be booked that fast? People are losing their health insurance. There's no way she's booked. Which nurse does she want me to see? So even that one, I'm like, I don't want to go to that one either. There was an allergy place that they had me go through. The lady was trying to test me, the needles and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this bitch was actually trying to really force needles into me, just poking me everywhere. And the thing is, I don't even think that they did the test right. Like, I can hear it in her voice because, like, the doctor I kept coming back to changed. And then the last time I went, she was like almost outright hostile. And I'm like, the fuck I want to come back here for? So I don't. Like, what's going on? Is this just all racism? It's obvious that you have people in staff that are not, hell. I mean, it's obvious now to me. Lonnie has cancer. They had to cut out 2 pieces from her, I think, left breast. And then she went in recently to see if her lymph node or something in her breast, invasive and everything. The thing is, she keeps telling me or sending me like shit that like even Google searches about how bad this is or whatever. So I'm like, I know what's going on. She didn't tell me the results of the most recent one. So I'm assuming that I need a black veil. Like that one in front of me. And she had weird tumor growths in her body multiple times. This is the 3rd time. The first one was in her throat, like right here in her throat. The other time was in, I don't remember the exact place, but it was within the fallopian tubes, ovaries, and uterus area. I remember it because she was complaining that her hoo-ha stinks because of the healing. I'm like, right. So that was the thing. So this is the 3rd time now that she had to get things cut out of her. So I don't know if she's just festering and just growing cancerous things from the sus. She never got back to me with the last results. So I wonder, yeah. She kept trying to ask for prayers and everything, and I'm like, I already know that you put me on some type of assurance. I already know that they probably very likely stowed inheritance from me. I almost wonder if I have a bank account in my name still open that she accesses. Like, I forgot which bank was it, but it was a bank that's connected to the Sack and Save in Nanakuli. She told me they closed it. So that was years and years ago. She told me they closed it. I should probably give them a call. I should probably give them a call. I know there was like a savings for me too. As a kid, there was something like I don't know what it's called. Like you open a thing and you put money in for a child, and when they get a certain age or something, they get the money or something from interest. And I'm 44, so I wonder that that's the thing.